Shalom. First and foremost, let's start off by giving all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushua, Ba'Shem, Kakadash, the abundance of apostles, elders, bishops, a great millstone, rule well, and salutations to your Akim out there pushing the truth and sincerity, and using your body as a living sacrifice, as the scriptures say. You know, and it's a lot going on, man. 2026 kicked off with a bang. You know, with the arrest of Maduro and his wife, the Venezuelan crisis, and we've been bringing this information out. You know, night after night, day after day. These epistles are going up. You know, the brothers are doing multiple lessons on it. You know, and the reason that this is happening is because of the oil, because of the trade that China and the BRICS nation have with Venezuela. Venezuela is one of the world's largest producers of oil. It's actually the largest producer of oil over Saudi Arabia. You know, and Saudi Arabia backed out the deal with the United States, you know, to produce the oil. So what you're seeing, what's going on is an actual war. You know, we're in the third war. You know, it just hasn't fully taken place. You know, and what's happening is the fact that China was doing business with Venezuela. Remember, the U.S. dollar is not backed by the gold standard anymore. It is backed by the petrol, the gas, the oil. And the Venezuela would have put America in a position where other nations can bypass the U.S. dollar. And it's beautiful that the Edomite, the economist that I was watching, was bringing out the information about London and Frankfurt, how London and Frankfurt control the finances, you know, and that's how they suppress Venezuela with the, you know, not allowing them to do business, basically cutting them off from trade, you know, and then they use the United States for their military, which goes into the scripture, the three unclean spirits, the three unclean frogs. And I don't have my book handy, you know. So one of you brothers in the that's watching this get that, because that's exactly how Esau world is established. You got 3 city-states, which is the Vatican, which controls the religion. You have London City, which controls the finances, and then you have the United States, which is Babylon the Great, which controls the military. You know, and that's how they control and keep the power. You know, if you ever familiar with the documentary, The Economic Hitman, they send corporations in first, you know, and then if you don't bite the apple or the cheese or whatever the case may be, if you don't play ball, then they send the military in. You know, and this is this reminds me of the scripture where it say give her balm for her pain, because that's the whole reason that they took over the oil rig. You know, to get more money, to trade more oil, you know. But guess what? The wounds that are coming to Babylon won't be healed, man. You know, Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahushua, it's not gonna heal this place. This place is set up for destruction, man. And you can see it clear as day. They stretch too far thin, like the old Roman Empire. This is the same Roman Empire, but it's whose deadly wound was healed. You know, and it goes back to Daniel the 2nd chapter with the Nebuchadnezzar vision, the statue. Just a second, hon.
Are you using a TikTok?
No, Daddy's doing a lesson.
Oh, well.
I thought you were asleep. I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, you know, life goes on. You know, we don't, none of this is staged. Spirit jump on us, jump on, do a lesson, you know. But nevertheless, yeah, this place is finished, man. Give her balm for her pain. Yeah, because she's not going to be healed. No matter what they do, she's not going to be healed. Because this is the purpose of the Lord, man. You know? Like it's saying, what is it? I believe Nahum 1, woe to the bloody city, man. You know? And this is the bloody city. It's full of lies and robbery. And the prey departeth not. And who is the prey? The Israelites. You know, the 12 tribes of Jacob. That's why this man has his Gestapo force, the ICE agents, and want to deploy the military to all the major cities where Jake is at, man. You know? And they go to 2nd Ezra 16 and 40. Spoiling and I'm merely paraphrasing. And spoiling and killing those that fear the Lord, man. And who fear the Lord? The Israelites. Not as a whole, because 2/3 of our people are in slumber, and they're not going to wake up until they utterly be destroyed. But overall, these devils know that we're the Israelites. The Latino, the so-called Latinos, so-called Native Americans, and the so-called blacks. We're the children of Israel, you know? And this is the end of their world, you know? But not the end of ours, because Jacob is the world that follows, which is Yahweh Shah's world, you know, kingdom, you know, era, age, oikoman, you know. So man, it's beautiful to be living in this time, man, to see these scriptures jump off the page, you know, to literally be able to read these chapters and the movie playing in the theater of your mind, you know. And that's what you have to get prepared for, to be ready to depart from these things that you've attached yourself to. Even I myself. That's why in Jeremiah 50 it say, flee out of the midst of Babylon. But remember, the scriptures say, be a pilgrim on the earth. So get ready, you know, not only to, you know, mentally not to move as, you know, a so-called nigger or American, you know, but to prepare yourself and fortify yourself to be able to detach from the material things as well, the physical things like your house, you know, your car, you know, because that's what it's coming down to. You know, they want a totalitarian society, you know, a dystopian future, total control, like Aaron Russo said in the interview with Nick Rockefeller. Because there's a counter to the US dollar, and that counter is the BRICS. You know, they put all those sanctions on Russia, you know, and then, you know, the Nord Stream pipeline thing happened, and then what? All of the European countries hit that inflation, and that's why the scriptures say they of thy confederacy have left a wound under thee, because the same ones, because these other nations don't like Babylon. They fucking hate Babylon, you know, but they go along with their democracy because they get aid, they get assistance. But the scriptures say the nations have drunk of her cup, and the nations are mad because they did nothing but deceive the nations, and that's why they same allies is breaking away from them. You know, what it say, the part clay, part iron. You know, and what brought them together cohesively was the EEU, the EEC, which later on became the EU. You know, they mingled their economics and trade and all of that. But as you can see, what was it Norway? Norway said that if Babylon attacked Greenland, we leaving NATO. So you see the tolls are breaking up, you know? And that's why I said, man, it's a beautiful time to be alive. Pray you were edified. Spirit jumped on me real quick to do a lesson, so I just did it. You know, until next time, Shalom, Kwam Yasharala. Shalom to the elect.